All right, let's look at how I've set my page up first of all. I've made a little template to help us keep our proportions in order. This is our friend Floyd. Let's call him Floyd. You can see that the top section of the template represents the main part of the head. This little section right below is the neck. The mid part is the torso, which is where we'll be focusing our energies in this first part of the lesson. And the bottom half of the page is for the legs. So Floyd says, let's talk torsos. This midsection of the body is the torso. So in this lesson, a good way to think of your characters is as if they're actors that can't speak. So they're going to use their body language to represent emotions and ideas in action and gesture. I'm going to set up to the right of Floyd here 4 variations on the torso. We'll begin with the most simple and also the most static, the rectangular torso, which is basically a 2-dimensional rectangle to represent the main part of the body. And put little circles for the feet here and a little wedge for the toe and the foot. We'll get into feet with a little more detail later. Notice the length of the arms comes below the hips. The wrists are below the belt line. So that's the easiest form you could use to represent the torso. A more specific and detailed version of that is the rib cage. So instead of a rectangle, we make a spine and we build out the chest area and the hip section. So now let me ink this version of Floyd. And you can see there's just a little more definition in the upper part of the body. So we could inflate the ribs to give it a more muscular feel, or we could shrink them down, or we could enlarge the hips separately. So it makes the torso 2 independent working parts. Another version of the torso is similar to the way we looked at a character head in the lesson on faces and expressions. 2 circles, one to represent the main part, the upper part of the torso, and then 1 circle to represent the bottom. Again, this is another way to just create some variation in your character design. So with this version of Floyd, I've puffed out the chest, the upper circle, and kept the hips about the same size. So now we've got a version of Floyd that looks like he has been working out a little too much. This last version is a style of torso that's pretty common to, the original Disney era of animation. The pear-shaped body, the smaller upper half, saggier shoulders, big, round hip region. And I thought of another one while I was building those, so let's do a 5th here. This is the hourglass torso, which I guess you could call a little more feminine. You have 2 triangles meeting around the belly button area. You drop the shoulders on the top to create more of a diamond form. And then when you go to ink this shape, it's just got a more feminine form to it. The hips come out a bit, the midsection comes in, and that's the hourglass.